It's amazing to see what a hot meal can do for the soul when you've lost everything and you have not had a hot meal in days. Hi, my name is David Marks, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Operation Barbecue Relief. We're a 501c3 not-for-profit charity found in May 2011 during the Joplin tornado disaster. We provide compassion, offer hope, and friendship to those whose lives have been affected by disasters across the United States. We leverage our God-given talents and expertise in competitive barbecue cooking as well as catering barbecue meals with our ability to quickly mobilize our teams into any area where disaster disrupts and tears apart the lives of Americans. Operation Barbecue Relief has provided over 1 million meals and spent 178 days deployed in disasters in 19 states. The thing that people think we all have in common is barbecue, and on the surface that is true. We provide hot barbecue meals to those in need and first responders. It's amazing to see what a hot meal can do for the soul when you've lost everything and you have not had a hot meal in days. Barbecue's comfort food. It reminds people of better times, friends, and family. The sustenance of that hot meal combined with the memories of better times give people hope and the ability to begin the healing process. Once you have worked in a deployment like our volunteers have, you learn that barbecue is the lever that binds us. However, the feeling you get providing someone in need that you will never know, who can never repay you, is the fuel that drives the volunteers of this organization. We are Operation Barbecue Relief.
Our school sets it up. It's a yearly program. The first year I got into it, my friend wanted me to come. They needed some extra hands. She knew I was good at doing some labor type activities, so I showed up, loved it, and I've been doing it every year since. We're just here breaking up some concrete, trying to prep the house so they can put in a new foundation next week. It's always just a very gratifying experience, especially when I get to stay on the same project, get to watch it progress throughout the week. There's always people on hand who can help you learn. If you're not comfortable doing a particular task, it's fine. They just have you do something else. If anyone is looking for a one-of-a-kind experience, this is the absolute best place to do it.
Now that there's such a limited amount of people back, you know, at night after dark, you don't see anybody. You know, everybody's locked in their little trailer or they leave the city.
East New Orleans is home to Mr. Fred DePlant and always will be, he tells CTV News. The father of CTV Administrative Manager Diane Williams, he serves as our guide the first day here. He evacuated before the storm. About 6 weeks later, he returned to survey the damage.
In here, it was 54 inches high. I measured it. That was where it settled. 59, it may have gone higher. The refrigerator was, I think, in that room. And all of the beds and mattresses and everything were just every place in the house. Oh, I was shocked, you know. I sort of expected it to be the way it was, but I guess I didn't want to accept it. This is where I spent most of my time. I had a large TV here, and a big chair, and a couch there, and a couch here, and of course the coffee tables and the end tables. But this is where I spent most of my day, looking at television or reading or something like that.
That was before Katrina. When he's not visiting friends, Mr. DePlant is a few steps away from his front door in this small trailer. He says while most of the renovation work is done, he's still weeks away from moving out of the trailer and back into his home.
I've been trying to get my floors done for the past, I guess 5 weeks. And each time it's a delay for one reason or another. You know, I can't get to you, I'm backed up, I'll see you next week, I'll try to get to you next week, you know, that type of thing.
With the exception of a trailer here and there, this Hansbrough Street neighborhood has the feel of a deserted community.
What you see is that trailer, this trailer, and that mini storage thing there. Those people are back, but not anybody else on this block that I know of has any intentions of coming back.
But Mr. DePland is back and says he's here to stay.
I never had any thoughts of not coming back. I always wanted to come back. This is my roots, and I will be here.
My desire is, my father's 80 years old, my desire is to have my father here with us, but Louisiana has been his home. He's a die-hard Louisianan and will not leave. I mean, he has vowed to rebuild. New Orleans is where he's spent all his life, and he will not leave. The unity is what we had in our family, which at this point, a year later, our family is still spread across the United States, literally. We're in contact with one another, but we miss the family gatherings. Will that ever happen again? It's hard to say.
It's never going to be the same, but I think I will still enjoy the things that I enjoyed before. I like to fish. I take my little boat out and I go out in the bays and the ponds and I do fishing with my friends. And we enjoy that. All my friends are here. The ones that I have are here. So I'm perfectly content to continue to make New Orleans my home.
A few doors down on Hansbrough, this neighbor has hired a contractor to make his home livable again.
This is the house that I climbed, you know, they have like a 6 feet of water inside the house. They lose everything. This wall has to take it out. And here is the kitchen. These people, they stayed for the storm in here. And they saw everything that happened.
You stayed through the storm, through Katrina. Why?
Well, we wasn't really sure where we were going to go because we don't know that many people out of state and things like that. And we kind of figured that, we'll get some wind, but other than that, we think we'll be all right. And for a long period of time, there was a lot of strong wind, but lights went off, but we were fine. But all of a sudden, I noticed, I walked out, and I saw a stream of water, because this area never flooded before. A stream of water coming down, and I looked and said, wow. So I noticed, looking at the mailbox over there, the water's getting higher and higher. And all of a sudden, the water just seemed like it broke loose, and the water started coming to the houses from all 4 sides. And then that's when I told my wife, we better get out of here, and we ran, and we're trying to find shelter somewhere. And so we ran and found a neighbor that we didn't know a couple blocks down, and we went to their house. Luckily, they were there, but I mean, that water was filling fast. And we finally got to the lady's house, and they were there. Their house hadn't received any water yet, but I see another half an hour later, their house started filling. So eventually, we had to go up to the attic, and that's where we stayed the whole day. But around here was fully covered. I mean, it was crazy, no doubt about that.
How did you get out?
Get out of here?
Well, I guess from your neighbor's house when they started.
Well, after the hurricane settled down, there was some neighbors of them were in a boat. So we just got out of the attic. Of course, there was water inside, and we went to the attic. We went to the boat so we could get rescued, maybe stand on the roof. They had helicopters flying all around. But we were there practically the whole day, and we wasn't rescued yet. So we figured, well, we have a boat. Let's get to Haynes over there, because we figured it's dry over there, and it was. They let us out, and we walked to, just walked somewhere, and a helicopter came and saw us, and turned around and picked us up and brought us to a shelter.
As a homeowner, a resident of New Orleans, your thoughts. Was the city prepared? Did it do what it should have done, or did it just fail in the citizenry?
I think we definitely failed. I mean, we prepared for 40 years for this, and no, we wasn't prepared. I think even myself, I didn't think it was going to be that bad. I never even thought about the flooding. I mean, that's what killed everything, the flooding. If it wasn't for that, you might have wind damage. New Orleans survives, but the flooding with the levee breaking, no, that killed everything, no doubt about it. And hopefully this time around, when we get another one, that problem will be solved. You'll get some flooding, but not 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 15 feet of water. That's ridiculous there. But that's how it was. It was a scary situation, but we survived it.
The kids break up the rocks, and I lift them from one place to another and help in whichever way I can, and it's been great. It certainly beats going to a gym. This gives you a different kind of view of young people working together towards a common goal. I'm in middle age, and when you start thinking about what do you want to do, how do you want to live your life, I think this is certainly a productive way. I think in service there is no age. You're going to love it. I mean, you're going to love being with 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds. It's all good. We're here to help the families, but we help each other out. We'd get the Jersey Shore back on track and people back on their homes if everybody my age gave 1 week once in their life. It would be good enough.
So in our Author's Corner, we had the opportunity to sit down with Patricia Schultz, the author of 1,000 Places to See Before You Die, and get from her what some of her favorite places were to see.
It makes you a better person. It can't not make you a better person. As long as you are open and curious and interested, as long as you go anywhere, whether it's New York City or Patagonia or the Masai Mara in Africa, as long as you go with respect and you go with an open mind and you're respectful that you are the foreigner in someone else's home, then the experience, and sometimes it is profound, whether it's in that moment or you understand in retrospect, it does change you. I don't think it can't do anything less than that. And Einstein once said that, when you expand your mind, I'm far less articulate than his quote is, I'm sure, that you never quite revert or regress back to what you were before the expansion happens. And it's that way, I think, with travel. Kind of opens you up and it keeps you open. And then it opens you some more. And then some more. No, and it never stops, because you'll never be able to say you've seen it all and done it all. Never, ever. Even if I were to write yet another 1,000 places, you can never say that it's all been done or seen or experienced.
That's true. So why don't we talk a little bit about the home exchange some more? Yeah,
it's interesting, I think, to explore this idea of doing more than just the inn or the hotel or the pension, etc., because there are a lot of these websites. If you're to Google, homeexchange.com, for example, is one of dozens, where if you live in a relatively central or semi-urban or desirable setup situation in the country with the beautiful farmhouse from the 19th century, or a one-bedroom condominium near Capitol Hill in Washington, or I live in the middle of Times Square, which some people find desirable. To be able to exchange that for an apartment in the middle of Buenos Aires, or a farmhouse in Provence, or imagine an old converted Casa Colonica, they're called, in Chianti, an old farmhouse in Tuscany.
Wow.
You can do that, and it's quite, as long as you're thorough, as long as the organization is reliable, and as long as you do your homework. But it's a great way, it's zero cost, both parties are generally very happy, and you live as a local, and I think that's the most important thing. You kind of blend into the day-to-day lifestyle of the folks in the village or in the city or in the neighborhood, and that's an invaluable experience.
It is, and to me it sounds like a great way to get completely inundated with the culture, the language, just the traditions, rather than, you know, for a lot of people, if they were to do their typical sightseeing, you know, see the normal places.
Or stay in, you know, a Sheraton or an international chain where you kind of wake up and it's a pinch me, where am I? You know, what city am I? Is this Phoenix or is it Paris? It's hard to tell.
Right. Well, I tell you, it's been a pleasure to meet you. Thank you very much for talking to me. I mean, again, 1,000 places to die before, 1,000 places to see before you die. The worldwide edition back in 2003, the North America in 2007, as well as her website, 1,000 places beforeyoudie.com. Is that correct? Patricia Schultz.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Travel Television. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
This is
It's
Kevin
been my
Mayberry.
pleasure.
This is Kevin Mayberry. Thanks very much.
I was in a place where I felt very alone. I wanted to build a better life, be a role model for students who come from a neighborhood like me. My parents, they were recent immigrants from Mexico. They were working 60 hours a week. The neighborhood that we grew up in, it was a working class, poor neighborhood. I would see people shoot at each other from across the street. These are the people that you're looking up to. I got expelled from high school on the first day. I was just hanging around, waiting to be placed at an alternative school. I was involved in an altercation that led me to be put in juvenile hall. When I came out, I was like, I have to make a change. I did my service year at Youth Conservation Corps. The diverse experiences that I had during my service year gave me the opportunity and built the capacity in me that I didn't know that I had. I figured if I could go from doing presentations in elementary schools to organizing food drives, I could do anything. Youth Conservation Corps became the vehicle that I needed to transform my life. One of the important things that came out of my service year was me learning that I can help people as a job, working with young people and seeing that they listen to me and how my story helped them believe that they could also make the change and they could also transform into whoever they wanted to become. That gave me the confidence to expect more. Today, I am the program director of the Shine Educational Leadership Program at Waukegan High School. We help the students understand who they want to be, what career path they want to take. Losing yourself in service gives you perspective. Through service to others is how you truly find who you are.
House with a Heart is a place where senior dogs and cats can come and live to the end of their life, being loved and cared for with never fear of being left. I decided that I wanted to do a rescue where the dogs could come and stay until they passed away with no fear. I got the idea because I did rescue for about 30 years and worked really hard to place dogs and cats in really great homes where I thought they'd live all their life.
Yeah, a lot of the dogs here at House with a Heart are homeless as a result of a couple different reasons. One could be that their owner was older and passed away. Other reasons are that they've been neglected and they're a little bit harder to take care of. And so for one reason or another, at no fault of their own, the dogs have ended up homeless.
Once a dog gets to be what we call a senior dog, they're much less active. And it does require a lot of work. Many of the dogs have health issues. Some are blind, some are deaf. They're very loving, but they require much more work than sort of your middle-aged classic dog, which you had to feed twice a day and that was it, and let them out and take them for a walk. These dogs require a lot more hands-on care.
The lady who's his foster mom, Becky, decided that she wanted to give it a try. So, you know, the kind of miracles of the internet, she went on the internet and she found other people who had dogs with the same condition, and she tried the different methods that they suggested, and one of the things was this chair. And I think she got this chair from somebody whose dog that has this condition had passed away already. He's sitting up. Will help, you know, gravity will help to make the food go down into his stomach. So we just take a long time to feed him, having him lick it and take a little bit off the spatula. The story that I understand is he was adopted out twice, and the folks brought him back because he threw up all the time. So the lab rescue had him examined, and the vet clinic found out that he had this condition, and they suggested that he be euthanized because most dogs with this condition die quite young.
The senior dogs you see here are just a few of the many who have been provided sanctuary. Located in Gaithersburg, Maryland, House with a Heart is a unique nonprofit organization, one of only a few of its kind to provide sanctuary to senior pets. Its Vice President, Harriet Sackler, says this about House with a Heart.
It is an incredible place. It does wonderful work, and I'm very, very proud to be part of it.